Uh-oh, somebody called the local zoo.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is a steel cage match. Introducing first, from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 275 pounds, George the Animal Steele.
I'm not even sure the cage can contain this man.
And strolling down the aisle, the opponent of George Steele, Peter Maivia.
Always a chaotic matchup.
His opponent from the Isle of Samoa, weighing in at 275 pounds, High Chief Peter Maivia.
Steele had better keep an eye on Maivia because Maivia is a true brawler. Few men can handle the chaos of the animal inside a steel cage, but I believe the High Chief is ready.
Maivia carrying such pride into the ring.
Very stark contrast to Steele. We'll see which prevails tonight.
High Chief Peter Maivia taking on George the Animal Steele in a steel cage match. Quite a heated history between these two guys.
Yeah, Michael, and I think it's because Maivia is one of the few superstars brave enough to take on the animal. Most of their contests have ended in countouts or disqualifications. Thanks to the cage, we'll get a decisive victory in this one.
Well, that really depends on if a cage can even contain them. What a counter by Peter Maivia. George the Animal Steele is not a wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, guys. He's a true brawler.
And he might be the best brawler in WWE, Michael. There is no shortage of fight in the animal. But you know who might be a better brawler, guys? The High Chief Peter Maivia. When you consider that Maivia is also an excellent high flyer and a great technician, well, you can see why the High Chief is the favorite in this match, even with the steel cage stipulation. Down with the vertical suplex.
The cage is a weapon.
That last shot did major damage. Blood's running down his face. The animal has to be elated to be in this steel cage against one of his biggest rivals, no less.
Yeah, Byron, we've seen the animal brandish a weapon against Peter Maivia before when it was against the rules. The High Chief better be prepared for Steele to get even crazier.
Oh, Maivia is prepared, all right. The man is extremely tough and agile. In fact, the High Chief's entire body can be considered a weapon.
Peter Maivia is looking unstoppable now.
Yeah, and Maivia has really figured the animal out here. Oh, my gosh! Maivia just dominated the animal with that one.
Ah, there's a headbutt. The High Chief Peter Maivia really making a name for himself at WWE, but he's had plenty of experience on the way up.
Plenty of championships on the West Coast, but he's made the biggest splash in Hawaii, where he earned multiple tag team titles. Oh yeah, Maivia is a huge celebrity on the islands. In fact, I've heard some consider him the personification of Maui.
Two very opposing styles in every sense of the word, Corey. High Chief Maivia is a much more physically gifted and talented athlete in the ring than Steele. What's it going to take for the animal to get the upper hand here?
Well, he's got to be even more chaotic than ever inside this cage. Nothing about Steele makes sense to someone as traditional as Maivia. There's never any telling what the animal's going to do in a match, and he needs to keep it that way.
Gentlemen, we've touched on the differences between Maivia and Steele as competitors. One man based on order, the other on chaos, but it's reflected in their looks, too.
Indeed, Michael. Just look at the sculpted physique of the High Chief. And the tribal tattoos on his body are extremely intricate and definitely eye-catching.
And Steele is, well, he's an ugly creature. Enough hair on his upper torso to classify as fur. Folds in his bald head. He's like a modern-day Neanderthal. Just ruthless.
Momentum is all with Maivia now.
And you can see Steele is struggling to weather the storm with the High Chief. Oh, God. Oh.
Some folks call Peter Maivia the Flying Hawaiian, and the reasons are obvious for that moniker. But, guys, how has he earned the other nickname of the High Chief?
Well, Cole, Peter Maivia is very close to the Anoa'i family. In fact, Peter's considered a blood brother to the patriarch of that clan.
When you add on the fact that Maivia was born and raised in Samoa, you can see the great pride he has for that land and its people in the tribal ink that covers his body.
He's completely on defense now.
Maivia just smothering his opponent with offense.
From the heavens, big-time splash. Peter Maivia just rubbing it in now.
Ooh, connects on the kick.
When a man like Peter Maivia signs up for a match with the animal, he doesn't know what to expect, just to expect anything in the world.
Peter Maivia knows full well that he's in for some unusual treatment tonight. In fact, Steele often has trouble finding opponents due to his erratic nature.
But when it comes to competition, the High Chief wants to prove he's worthy of that name. Peter Maivia will take on any competitor, no matter the difficulty.
Someone stop this!
Into the pen. George is trying to seal this one up. Shoulder up right away.
How'd he do that?
Oh, and a headbutt.
Oh, vicious headbutt.
George Animal Steele might be a bit of an underdog here. In fact, he lost the match by countout to the High Chief.
In Steele's defense, I'm not sure he knows how to count exactly or how to read a rule book. So he's got to be happy to be in this cage.
Well, Maivia's called the High Chief. Wait a minute, setting in. Devastating submission coming.
A stump puller. And the legs have to be on absolute fire right now.
Nothing but pain shooting up and down every muscle. And he's tapping. He had to tap. He had no choice.
And the High Chief defeats the animal.
Here is your winner, High Chief Peter Maivia.
Anytime these two have faced off, it's been eye for an eye. But the steel cage has finally delivered a decisive victory for the High Chief, Peter Maivia.
George Steele is one tough animal, but the way Maivia faced him in the cage tonight just reinforced what everyone already knew, that the High Chief is one tough Samoan.
PlayStation